Hello and welcome to Central Spacers. I'm Derek, and a little bit over a year ago, like most people, I started learning about the release of Star Wars Unlimited. I was excited to be able to play some of my favorite characters and maybe recreate some of my favorite scenes from the movies or TV shows.
You're all clear, kid. Now let's blow this thing and go home.
But unlike a lot of other people, this wasn't just a new game for me. This was my first competitive trading card game I've ever played. I feel like over the last year I've learned a lot, and I wanted to share with you guys some of what I've learned, as well as some tips and tricks if you were thinking about getting started in Star Wars Unlimited, or really just any trading card game. The first tip that I have is start slow. So there's a lot of things to learn. There's a lot of terms and inside baseball lingo that you're not going to understand, and that's okay. It's your first time playing. I feel like we as people have a tendency to try to rush being good at things and get frustrated when we don't see results. I'm definitely very guilty of that. But taking your time and learning the fundamentals of whether it be an action-based game like Star Wars Unlimited or a more turn-based game like Magic or One Piece or Lorcana or something like that will really help you in the long run to feel confident, whether you're playing it weekly or just with friends or even, going to your first competitive scene. Knowing that you feel comfortable with the interactions in the game will go a long way. In that same breath, tempering your expectations and understanding that you're probably not going to start out winning, your locals or go out and win some big tournament, that you are brand new to this and you should take your time with it and have fun with it, enjoy it for what it is, and over time you'll build the skills needed to go out and win or perform better at weeklies. But if your priority going into it is winning, easy to forget sometimes that people that you're playing against might have been playing trading card games for 10, 15, 20 years and you're just starting out, and it's easy to compare yourself to these people that have all of this experience and easy to get down on yourself. And I would highly recommend continuing to kind of just step back and give yourself the grace of being a new player and learning from your mistakes, trying to figure out what you can do better, and most importantly, enjoying playing this game. The second tip that I would give you, and the most important one in my opinion, is definitely go to your local game store and meet the people there that are playing. I didn't know anybody the first time I walked into my local game store, and a year later I'm making content with a bunch of great dudes, playing the game on a nightly basis with everybody. I've probably made lifelong friends that I get to enjoy doing this thing that we all enjoy doing together. And all of that started just because I decided, hey, I want to play this game. And I went and paid the $5 and played in a weekly play in my local game store and met cool dudes that were there to do the same thing I was there to do, which was have fun and create community. And I would say that with my experience over the last year, the community aspect and the creating community aspect of playing a card game has been the most beneficial, maybe the most surprising, and probably what I'm most grateful for. We had about 5 of us traveling to a competitive event last weekend, and that was a memory making experience that I would not have had if I had not started playing card games. So we get caught up, I think, in performing well or having the best deck or winning or, whatever have you. And I genuinely do think that the ability to create community with these games is its biggest strength. The third tip that I would have for you is if you're going to start playing, whether it be Star Wars or Lorcana or One Piece or Yu-Gi-Oh!, it helps to pick something that you're passionate about. I love Star Wars. I eat, breathe, and live Star Wars. That's how I found out about the game. And I don't, while I enjoy the game and I think it's very captivating, the gameplay loop is very fascinating and very fun and repeatable. It being Star Wars inherently helps me get excited about playing the game, because when new cards are released, I can talk about those cards with the community that I've built. I can be excited about some of my favorite characters, such as Ezra, Kanan, Hera, the Rebels groups, getting their own cards, Kanan getting his own leader card in set 5, and it just builds my hype and makes me want to play the game more and makes me enjoy playing the game. I will say that I do think that FFG and Star Wars Unlimited do a great job of hitting Star Wars theme in the game. The cards feel oftentimes very thematic, and you can create big thematic moments with the interaction system that they've created. But if you're, really into Disney or really into One Piece, there's markets out there of very popular card games that exist for you to be excited about to play in. The fourth tip that I have for you kind of ties into tip one, and I touched on it a little bit, and that is don't let your inexperience hold you back from having fun. And we could talk mainly about how that affects you playing cards, but I wanted to talk about it from my point of view of wanting to start making content around a trading card game, which of the people that are in the group that we make this stuff with, I have by far probably the least experience. And I definitely think that I suffer oftentimes from imposter syndrome of, I don't know as much, or my experience isn't good enough to give me any authority to talk on things. And I think to some case that's true. I think it is important to have a community around you of these, tenured players that you can get advice from and listen to and learn and grow from. But you should feel confident in being inexperienced, going into situations wanting to learn, knowing that you might not know the best way, that there might be a better way to do something, that there might be a line that you're not seeing, and that you can take your inexperience and use it as a glass to look through to learn and soak up as much information as possible. The most important thing is to enjoy the process of playing and enjoy the community that you're building. And every mistake is an opportunity for you to learn, and you should embrace being new. It's fun. It's good for your brain, and it's good for your social life. And there's all these benefits that I think that come from you starting this new hobby that far outweigh any sort of anxiety or fear of starting. Finally, I think the last tip that I'm going to leave you with is start slow in the money part of it. I definitely didn't, but again, I really like Star Wars, so I'm not telling you what you can and can't do with your money. All I'm doing is suggesting, see if you like it. If there isn't an IP that you're just dead set on, starting, but you've always been interested in, trying a competitive hobby and maybe cards are for you, buy a starter deck for a couple different games. I do think Star Wars Unlimited is very good. It's action-based, turn-based system. Basically makes it like a chess match. It's very, I think the skill floor is very low, but the ceiling is very high. And the gameplay loop is very fun and rewarding. To recap, if you are looking to start playing your first competitive card game and you're anxious or nervous, I would start by going to your local game store when they have a weekly, because most card games have a weekly night where they get together and play, and talk to the people there, because they want people to play this game with, and they will be more than excited to help you get started playing this game. And the community and relationships that you can build doing this can last you a lifetime, as well as the critical thinking, problem solving skills, and overall fun and enjoyment that you can get out of a hobby. So anyways, I hope this was helpful. If it was, leave a comment, like, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in another video.